All right, Dave. Cooper Kupp has a hamstring issue right now. He's 30 years old. He missed half of last season. That said, the Rams reliance very reliant on the Stafford to Cooper Kupp connection. Kupp was the leader in fantasy points per game in each of the last 2 seasons. He could realistically lead all wide receivers in every major category again, like he did in 2021. The offensive line still a big question mark in Los Angeles. That said, Dave, are you in on Cooper Kupp this year?
I'm so in on Cooper Kupp. Like in on Cooper Kupp to the point that like if he doesn't hit, my wife might leave me. I've invested so much of our money in Cooper Kupp overs, and he's been my 103 steadily in best ball drafts. Like as soon as he started dipping into 107 in best ball, I just started drafting more. My exposure, I usually don't take a strong stance in the early rounds, and I think that was
Right.
sort of a mistake of mine in the past is that I would just go chalk for the first few rounds in best ball and then kind of try to target my guys later. I have never taken a stance on an early round guy the way I'm taking a stance on Cooper Kupp. I'm inching up on 20% exposure, which is terrifying for all of the reasons you listed, over 30 hamstring issues. But if you look, he has had the highest floor and the highest ceiling of any wide receiver for the last 2 years. You talk about the offensive line concerns. We could talk about Matthew Stafford's elbow. That didn't stop him from being the per game wide receiver one last year. I'd look back at all of his games dating back to the start of 2021. Matthew Stafford showed up in Los Angeles. He has scored 30 plus PPR points in 1 in 3 outings. 32% of his games, he has scored 30 or more points. Outside of the game that he got injured last year and missed the majority of the game, he has had a 10-point floor. He hasn't scored less than 10 points, and he's scored 30 plus in almost 1/3 of his outings. He scored 20 plus in over 70% of his outings. I mean, he is a cheat code. Like we're looking at what prime Antonio Brown was doing in Pittsburgh. So yeah, there's the concerns that his hamstring falls off or Matthew Stafford's arm falls off or this offensive line continues to be a sieve, but none of those problems seem to stop him last year. He actually scored more points per game last year than he did in his record-breaking 2021 season. So I'm planting the flag. Cooper Kupp is my 103 ride or die, and please don't make me look bad, Cooper.
Yeah, there's a that was a brave statement. To your family, everyone out there, we wish them well, and we wish Cooper Kupp's hamstring well also.
Well, that's the last thing I'll say about his hamstring is there are almost no indications that this is going to linger into the season. The risk for re-injury goes up slightly. So that is definitely concerning, but you get that with every receiver. There's injury concerns with every NFL player. And Stephania Bell and Adam Hutchinson and people that are much smarter than I when it comes to analyzing injuries talk about how he is just a workhorse when it comes to recovery, doing everything he can to get in tip-top shape, from his diet to his stretching to his working out to physical therapy, all those sorts of things. And then it's become kind of a cliche at this point, but that Rams medical room is incredible with what they can do. I mean, look at Cam Akers, tore his ACL and was back on the field 7 months later. So my investment in Cooper Kupp has a lot to do with his work ethic and also a lot to do with the Rams training staff.
Catch more of the conversation only on the 33rd Team Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts.